Okay, hello, YouTube, everyone in the world. How's it going today? How y'all doing? I'm in the middle of making my Legends Arceus review. I'm doing some Nuzlocke, and I'm in I guess, a Pokemon mood as of late. So, with Legends Arceus coming out, I just came out with a video not too long ago. Uh, it's a long one of dissecting like the future of Pokemon, how it goes forward from here after Legends Arceus and everything. I want to talk about this, the definitive. And I know so many people are gonna be fucking triggered by what I'm probably gonna say and put on here, but that's okay. This is a tier list, a little non-conventional. There's no tiers exactly of like S plus A, B, and everything. I kind of separated the tiers a little more, and we're making a tier list for every main line and side game connected to the main lines in some way. So, what do I mean by that? We're going to include things like Pokemon Stadium games, obviously, as you can see from down here. Coliseum and its games. There's another one, Battle Revolution. Everything that's involved in the actual competitive scene that's used there. Either it was used as a platform like Stadium, Stadium 2, Battle Revolution, Coliseum, XD Gale of Darkness. Side games that follow essentially the same structure of a regular Pokemon game. So Let's Go's are particular. The remakes, if people don't consider them, mainline. Even XD and Coliseum, people say are mainline. Legends Arceus, another one. They all follow the same PP system, catching Pokemon, battling, usually Elite Four or some overarching plot to the end. So those are all the games that are on here. And there's one extra down here. It's a Pokemon clone, kind of, but I want to use it in conjunction to talk about all this, because this is going to be part 1 of 2. Because here's the thing with Pokemon. If you're going to compare them to other RPGs, it's going to be a lot more of a clear-cut list. Like, there's no Pokemon games that are up here with other RPGs. And that's, little spoilers for the next one. So I want to compare Legends Arceus and the top games, like the best of the best and the great games with the small issues, these top 2 tiers. I take everything there and put them with other modern-day RPGs or ones that are similar to them and see how they just ranked. Another thing is, I'm only putting things here that I've also played. So I've played every single one of these games. I've at least tried them and played them for a few hours. There are some games I have not beaten. There are games I've played multiple times over. But I have enough of a grasp and understanding of these games to rank them the way that we're ranking them. The games that won't be included are stuff like Snap, the Mystery Dungeons, or some of the other ones, Conquest, another one, stuff like that, Pinball, all that stuff is that's true side Pokemon games. Right? And then there's one exception. There's one like side Pokemon game that I have on here, and it's Pokemon Go. It's because I just want to bitch and complain about Pokemon Go, honestly. But no, I do want to put it. I wanted to put it here in case people are wondering, because it does connect to home, it does connect to everything. So all these games are connected to each other in some way, shape, or form. They were either used in the competitive format, they were used interactivity together, they became a replacement for past games. They are all the main line series of games. The only 2 exceptions are these bottom 2, kind of separate. Although Temtem's the only one that's the real exception. So let's go through the tiers, because these aren't going to be. This is, again, also, this is a subjective list. I'm going to leave the link to this template. Make your own, put it up there, leave it in the comments. Let me know down below what you think about the list, what you would put there. This is really subjective, and we'll get to talking about that when we get to the more subjective stuff. So let's go through the tiers. So we have here best of the best. It's self-explanatory. And then towards the bottom here, we have worst of the worst. In between here, we have great games with small issues. So these are games that could have used small improvements, are pretty much, as far as Pokemon terms, not flawless, but the best of the best that we have gotten, or had such great improvements that these small little issues don't really matter in the grand scheme of things of all the good stuff that it did. And you'll see the difference between that and like best of the best. Okay games that are fun, but definitely flawed. This is kind of gonna be the weirdest one, I think. This and the yellow one. So the yellow one here is bad experiences with big flaws but still playable, or dated games. So I'll get to that when we get there, and I'll explain what that means. And then I have a separate tier here for cash grabs that aren't even qualified to be called video games. This tier is only for one game. There we go. That's done. That tier is gone. We're not even going to give it green. Green is too much of a color. This needs like gray. There we go. That's gray. And then worst of the worst needs to be red. And we're going to make this one nice blue. There we go. Should have made it green, but whatever. My tier list. Edit it however you want. So we're going to get into it. I'm not going to go really chronologically. I'm going to try to, but I'm going to jump around because I think I'm going to go from like region to region. So I'm going to start with the originals, red and blue. Very hot, controversial takes here. I expect people to not like this list, but it doesn't matter. So here's the thing: this physical special split for me is so big that the older games are very hard to say that they're really good in comparison to what we have later on. Red and blue are the exception there because of the older games that follow this suit, other than the secondary games, the yellow, the crystal, the emerald, are gold and silver, and ruby and sapphire, and then the N64 and GameCube games that are equivalent to that. The exception to all of this is red and blue. And I wouldn't say that red and blue is a bad experience, but it does have big flaws, and it's playable with big flaws, but it's a dated game. Anybody who's played Pokemon understands, like anybody who's understands competitive Pokemon, continues to play Pokemon and has played these games, you understand that these are just flawed games. But they're fun experiences that are playable. It's why I don't want to say like okay games that are fun but definitely flawed there. Yellow's kind of the hard one. I think that red and blue are the top of here because they're dated, but they have flaws. I would say they're like kind of there because yellow still has the flaws of the generation. You know what? It's going to go here. It's going to go like right above it. Because I want to say, like, personally, yellow's fun. Yeah. I think it's a better experience than red and blue. Personally, I think some of the changes to the story and stuff are great. The starters, awesome. And you have a starter Pikachu, who doesn't evolve. But it's still Gen 1, so it's flawed. Now, Pokemon Let's Go. I'm going to put that here. I will explain when we flesh out the tiers, you'll understand why the games are where they're at, because I can explain it. Let's Go. So, Let's Go is a more definitive version of Yellow, I believe. I think the partner Pikachu and partner Eevee are better than your Pikachu and Eevee. The amount of Pokemon that you can capture, how many times you can recapture them. You can have a whole team of Charizards if you want. You can have a whole team of Zapdos and Moltres or Articunos if you want. I think this game defines this tier that it's in. Okay games that are fun, but definitely flawed. Catching mechanic is wonky on docked, at best, shitty consistently, and it's okay handheld. I think the game just plays better handheld. I don't like the single Joy-Con, and I don't like the dual two-player person when I'm playing by myself. It sucks. And I don't have the Pokeball, so the Pokeball Pro Controller, whatever that is. So that's gone. Yeah, and then it's their remakes of Yellow, which are just definitive better versions of Gen 1. So that's why they're here. But they have just flaws that I don't want to say Let's Go is a bad experience, because I don't think it's a bad experience. We're not talking about, is this a $60 game? Is this a $50 game? Is this really a $40 game with inflation? How does it compare? We're just comparing the games. Fuck the price point. Fuck the DLCs. We'll get there. Fuck all that. I think that this one defines a tier. So moving on. Fire Red and Leaf Green. Okay. These are gonna piss people off. I don't know if I should put another tier right in between here that's just dated games that are between these two tiers. I don't think I'm going to. I'm going to keep the tiers as it is, because this is enough for like 27 games here. Fire Red and Leaf Green still have the physical special split problem. Yeah, they're on the bottom. They're on the bottom of this tier because they don't have big flaws. They're just okay. I personally don't like Gen 3. I don't like Advanced a lot. We'll get there. You'll hear my opinions there. Fire Red and Leaf Green doesn't expand the Pokedex until National Dex post game. The game really does not change, other than like updating some move pools. Like Charmander gets Metal Claw. Steel and Dark type attacks are in the game. The balances for Psychic. Magnemite, Magneton getting updated typings. Other than that, I don't think there's actually really any differences between Red and Blue and Fire Red and Leaf Green. It's really not. Until you get post game, then there's the Sevi Islands, which I think are good. Unlocks more Pokemon, connects with Advanced, yada yada yada. And it's fun. And it's fine. They're fun games, but they're definitely these are not games that I would revisit very much. Like, this is kind of like closer to the top of this tier. This is definitely on the bottom of this tier because it falls more in dated games, and that's why the beginning of this is going to get kind of weird, because a lot of these games are kind of dated. Gold and Silver, very, very top of this, but not because they're a bad experience, because they're dated. And there's a more definitive version, better version of them. Crystal, same thing. I think Crystal is like Yellow. It's slightly better than these. But between competitive kind of sucking, I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of Gen 1, and Gen 2's I don't really like it. Same with Gen 3. I think there's too many Pokemon that the physical special split would have been really nice to have then. So that's why I think Gen 4 is right where it starts. Like, I'm having fun with Pokemon. But I put Crystal here again, not because it's a bad experience or has big flaws, just because it's dated. If you want to put Crystal at the very bottom of here, or if you think Crystal's better than this, I think that these two are kind of interchangeable, and these three together are kind of like all linked. Yeah, but I'm just putting it here because it's more dated. I don't want to say that it is fun, and it doesn't have its flaws. It's kind of hard to put that here. You know what? Why am I hyping this one up? These two are on the bottom of this tier. They define this one. Again, if you want to put Fire Red and Leaf Green below Gold and Silver and you like them more, go ahead. More power to you. Ooh, here we go. They're just dated. Again, physical special split was like the biggest thing for Pokemon. Pokemon's ever done for themselves. Uh, I don't have one preference over the other. I have played a lot more of Stadium 2. Um, I don't have a preference over one or the other. They're both good games doing essentially not much different than each other. The models aren't much different. It's just like an add-on. Like the difference between here is more the difference between here, except a lot of the problems of like this game didn't feel alive and this game felt semi-alive. These games, because being on the N64 and the better hardware, have better mini games than what's found in, this stuff. The models and the animations and everything really help to bring the games alive, kind of. So that's why I just say they're just dated. That's why they're here. They're not bad experiences with big flaws. Like more of this game, I would say Stadium is more of the bad experience flaws. You want to put that there? You want to put that there? You want to put Stadium here? I don't care. I don't think either of these games are worst of the worst. I don't think either of these games. I think more Stadium 1. But I don't think Stadium 2 was a bad experience. This is probably more like a line. If there was a middle tier, these three games would be there. Hands down, those three games would be there. There's no other way to go about it. Ruby and Sapphire. I'm gonna piss people off. I don't like Ruby and Sapphire. I don't. I don't like Hoenn that much. I mean, I say that, but then you'll see what I have to say about Emerald and Omega and Alpha. I don't know where to put them because these are more dated with bigger flaws. But I've never chosen to play Ruby and Sapphire. Not fan games, not mods, nothing else other than the base games. I've never chosen to play these over Gold and Silver. I think Gold and Silver just have less problems. The physical special split is still there for both games. I think Gold and Silver have more to offer. I think the leveling for Gold and Silver and Gen 2 overall is pretty bad, and we'll get there. It's also, the next games for them. But I don't think they're better than them. I think that this is more dated Gold and Silver, and these are more of like lackluster experiences. And I say that because Gold and Silver has post-game. It has another region as a post-game. And you could say, well, that's not really the post-game. The post-game is red. No. The post-game is past the Elite Four. You beat the Elite Four, you have 8 more gyms and a full special trainer to go in battle. Ruby and Sapphire, you've got nothing. You really have nothing post-game for them. I believe there was Battle Tower. Yeah. It's self-explanatory there. Emerald. Emerald is that game that just made Ruby and Sapphire to the best that they could possibly be. I don't know if they're better than Let's Go. If you want to put that there, you want to put that there. Doesn't really matter. I'm only putting this because by definitely flawed, I'm just saying because it's Gen 3, still has the physical special split. I'm not a fan, personally. If I'm going to take that out of consideration, just say I'm not going to judge games at all being dated by the physical special split. Specifically. It could be dated by other things. And this is bottom of this tier. Which I'll give this one the benefit of the doubt over everything else because this game introduces the best thing Pokemon has ever to its games, the Battle Frontier. Battle Frontier is incredible here. I played more the Battle Frontier here than I played the story of Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire, and all my playthroughs of them combined. I've played more of just this Battle Frontier. It's a great addition. It's something that should have always been in Pokemon games. But I think it really does belong here because it is still definitely flawed with the physical special split. But I'll leave it there if I want to give it the benefit of the doubt. If I want to give all of these the benefit of the doubt, none of these move. All of these are still dated for other reasons. And I think that this one is still flawed from HMs, physical special split. It does have a lot more Pokemon by the end of the post game, but there's so much stuff with the Battle Frontier and added more in the post game here than what Yellow adds to post game compared to Red and Blue, and what Crystal adds to post game compared to, Gold and Silver. That I think this is a fine place to put it. Again, if you want to put that there, you want to put you want to put this at the bottom of that. You want to put that there. None of that really. It doesn't really matter. But I think I want to keep this here. We're gonna put it here. Maybe this one will move because this is the hardest one for me to keep in its own tier because everything else kind of is defined by what these tiers are called. But Emerald's kind of hard because it just has some really good things, and then Hoenn's kind of lackluster. I don't really like Hoenn as a whole as a region. Really, it's kind of boring. And the Pokemon formula starts getting a little meh with those games. What are the next ones? Okay, you know what? It's going here because we have the next ones. Coliseum is interchangeable with Emerald. I don't know if Coliseum belongs here with Emerald, or I don't know if Coliseum belongs here with Emerald. But Coliseum, I put equally with Emerald. What Coliseum lacks in Battle Frontier and availability in Pokemon makes up for in animations, quality, story, longevity of the entire game. There are pros and cons that balance them out. Although, again, it's got the physical special split. This game is purely double battles. So if you don't like double battles or you get sick of them, too bad. It's I would say that this is a great to good game with small issues, but it's still flawed and are fun. I'd say both of these are, but I don't want to add another tier in the middle here for them. So I'm going to keep them here, with the asterisk that these two, are basically bottom tier here or top tier here. Doesn't really matter. I don't think that they're anything lower than. I don't think Coliseum and Emerald are any worse than Fire Red and Leaf Green, Crystal, Let's Go. They can't really go less than that, but I don't think they're better than the other games. XD Gale of Darkness, same thing of Crystal, Emerald, and Yellow. It's just a better version of Coliseum. I've only played XD Gale of Darkness. I'm like halfway through, a third of the way through the game right now. I've seen tons of videos on it, of everything. I finally got to play it about a year ago. Started playing it maybe like 9 months ago. And it's so good. It's really good. It's just the small issues that XD Gale Darkness and really Coliseum have are just more dated. But these are the best of Gen 1, 2, and 3. No remakes or anything included. Okay, we're gonna be going. I might as well just go with Heart Gold Soul Silver. Heart Gold Soul Silver, middle to bottom of this tier. There are 2 games on this list I think are just definitively better than that game. And there's one game that's kind of tied with it, and I don't think anything else goes in this tier. But Heart Gold Soul Silver, the problems that it has are so small. Like, compared to everything it has. I mean, it has the Arceus event. It has so many Pokemon that you can get. It has the physical special split. It has follow Pokemon. It has the Battle Frontier. It still has the 16 gyms. It has so much. It's just the definitive best versions of Gold, Silver, Crystal. It really also shows Gen 4 at its peak too, which now we're at Gen 4. Yay. Here's Diamond and Pearl. Diamond and Pearl. Right there. This is Diamond and Pearl. This is not Platinum. Diamond and Pearl have flaws. Anybody who's done video essays or anything you've seen on Pokemon Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl, Pokemon Platinum, Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, I think like Harmonia something, and Distant Kingdom, they will be sitting right to my right and left agreeing with me that just Gen 4 has some issues. They're mostly with Diamond and Pearl. Unbalanced typings throughout the whole game. This is the game where it really starts. If you just leave Pokemon out of the Pokedex, then you're stuck with repeats of so many of the same Pokemon every route. You have trainers that have literally like 3 of the same one. Diamond and Pearl is the worst of it. It has trainers that have like 3 Roselias, 3 Ponytas, 3 Buizels. How many trainers have Beedofs? How many trainers have Starlies? When you're going on the bridge from Eterna, there is Pikachu, Shinx, Starly. I think there might be 1 Staravia, and there might be like a Pichu as well. That's all that's there across 9 or 8 trainers or something. They're okay games. They are fun and great. The reason that they're here, I don't think that they're better than Crystal, but they have the physical special split. If you want to put that there, that might be more in line with how I feel with how often I've played Crystal. I think these 3 games are kind of more interchangeable. This is definitely worse than these 3. I don't really know what else to say. I guess we'll go put Platinum. Platinum fixes so many issues from Diamond and Pearl. Increased decks where you can actually evolve the things that have forms from Sinnoh. Better typing availability. They're the only fire types in Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl are Ponyta and your starter. So if you don't pick Chimchar, you have Ponyta and you have no other fire Pokemon. There's not a lot of post game. There's catching some things. There's some events and stuff, but like this just expands everything. It expands the story. It expands the boring places that you went to and some of the things of like Galactic HQ. Gives you the Distortion World, which the Distortion World itself isn't great, but it's an extra storyline with Giratina, and it delves deeper into that. And everybody can agree that Giratina is fucking cool. It's like it's the devil of Pokemon. Okay. Battle Frontier makes it here with more post game stuff. You have expansions on the evil team. It's the definitive version, and I think it's just a whole tier. I don't think it's a great game with small issues. I really don't think I think the small issues here are like the health bar is slow. I mean, the trainers are more balanced out. Their teams are more even out. The game feels challenging because a lot of the early teams have like really strong Pokemon. Cornetos is insane. Roserade, Skuntank, Purugly. I think you face Toxicroak kind of late. Miss Magius. By the time you get to like the 4th, 5th gym is where you start actually like your Pokemon are actually going to be competing with them. You're not going to have to be outplaying them or outleveling them. Yeah, I just think it's a whole tier better than this, than these games. The next 2. Okay, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. I guess I would put that here. I guess I'm doing a first playthrough and a Nuzlocke of this, so I'm like halfway through. but I've played and seen enough of this game, and I'm not going to talk about this game's release, everything. That would just me be diving and delving into the scumminess of Pokemon. Don't care about any of that. Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Where do I begin? So many choices that were just weird. TMs are, since 10 years later, are breakable again. They gave you this like a thing for like HMs that you constantly have on you, but then it takes the adventure or reward out of what you get out of those away because they didn't rework what was there. These are remakes of Diamond and Pearl, so they have all the flaws that Diamond and Pearl has. They have some Pokemon you can get in the underground portions there, but there's still wild random encounters. There is the mandatory EXP share. There are the unbalanced Pokemon that are here, because I know of the Elite Four. I know of the Elite Four. I am dreading that when I get there in my game. I don't know how Nuzlockable it's going to be at that point because they're so extreme. Fucking minimized Baton Pass Bronzong that I know exists there. But these games are not great. The art style is a weird thing to go back and forth between. It's got some weird little like visual stuff. Some of the visuals are kind of cool with the chibi stuff. Some of the backgrounds when you're in the underground cavern and certain areas look kind of cool. But there's really not much more here. I think that this is where this game is going to land. Somewhere like here by the end of it. I'm putting this here because honestly, I'd say like here right now. But to call this an okay game that's fun but definitely flawed versus a bad experience with big flaws and still playable, I can't do that. I can't. At all. These games have just too many flaws. And this is, again, what I just talked about in Diamond and Pearl, where you take Pokemon out of the Pokedex and you start having Pokemon trainers that have 3 of the same Pokemon you've been fighting over and over and over. Every single hiker has Geodudes. How many Pokemon exist up till here that we can replace? How many different rock types? There's no Rhyhorns. There's no Roggenrollas. There's no Larvitars. No Pupitars. No. There's no other fossil Pokemon. All of the choices that they made here were so weird or bad. A lot of them weren't great. Some of them are okay. And none of these have to include like comparing the music, right? Comparing the story quality, comparing the characters. Like all this is we're just going on the games. Because then I'd be here all goddamn day with these, because this one has actually pretty good music. Has not really good characters. Everybody is on a grid, except for you. Even the world feels so you're bumping into shit all the time. All the time. You can't jump. I noticed this on my own. I was skating along. You can't jump off the ledge unless you're at exact like you're traveling on the X and Y axis. You can't travel at weird fucking games. I'd say it's an okay game with big flaws and still playable rather than it's a bad experience. I just say it's an okay game with that. So you want to put that here, you want to put that here, fine. If you think these are slightly better than Diamond and Pearl, you would put them here. I don't think this is not a better game than anything here. I don't even think it's better than this, so I guess I have to have the list here. Because if I were to agree and say that this is above Diamond and Pearl, which I can't in good conscience call this game better than Fire Red and Leaf Green. Which makes me go, is Fire Red and Leaf Green better than Diamond and Pearl? Well, Diamond and Pearl's slightly better than them, I think. Slightly. So I don't think this is even as good as Diamond and Pearl. I was saying some big things about Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl when I first was playing. I was like, oh, this kind of replaces Platinum. Then I saw everything else, and I'm playing not the day one patch. I haven't gotten to the part where you can't do the post game. I haven't gotten any big bugs or glitches, but I have seen them. Besides the fact that I know what the post game is, it's just a battle tower. Again, it's a remake of this. It's just like everything that's done in here that could have been good is done better in everything in these 3 tiers. Oops. Everything in these 3 tiers do things that are better than this. Let's Go has better catching mechanics. Crystal has better post game. This is the original that's just going to be better. As time goes on, this game is going to go down and down and down and down when the Nintendo Switch services stop. Or if they take away emulation, you can't do the update file. Fire Red and Leaf Green at least changed more things and balanced more things to its own region than this. I think. You want to say if they're equal, Fire Red and Leaf slightly lower? Don't care. Again, this is subjective. I don't think objectively, though, this is better than anything that's higher than Crystal here. Coliseum has better graphics, even though it was on weaker hardware. XD Gale Darkness is just better, and we're not even going to compare these games to Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. I'm not even going to fucking do it. So we're done there. Battle Revolution. So this is the game that I've played the least. I don't enjoy Battle Revolution that much. It's just a replacement for competitive, really. I'm going to put it right here. Even though this has the physical special split, it doesn't have a story, doesn't have an adventure. It's just basically a battle simulator. It really is. A battle and arcade mode simulator for them. I don't even think it's better than Emerald. I'm only being honest. It's better than, I'd say it's better than Let's Go. Say it's better than Let's Go, or it's comparable with the things that this has that this doesn't have, and there's things that this has this doesn't have. So I think this is appropriate here. If you want to say Battle Revolution's like up here because it's right under Gale, if you think that Battle Revolution though is better than XD Gale of Darkness, you need to explain yourself. I don't know why that's better than XD Gale of Darkness. Again, I don't like physical special split, and I'm still putting 3 games that don't have that over this game, which means it's not the most important thing in the Pokemon game. This game was just, it was a $50 or $60 Wii U game, or sorry, Wii game, full price title that was just Pokemon Stadium without the adventure. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't my favorite game. Maybe when I play it again later, I'll find more enjoyment and I'll be like, you know what? I can understand why you put it up here. But is it on the same tier? Is it a great game with small issues? It's definitely flawed. This could have used this story. This could have used an adventure like Coliseum was. It's a lot. This isn't really like an like Coliseum. So we have the stadium games that are kind of similar and are just more like battle simulators, but also have some minigame stuff and kind of like an adventure mode. You go through the gyms, you beat the gym leaders, you beat the Elite Four, then you have Mewtwo at the end, blah, blah, blah. And you fight Red, and you go through all the gyms. They have all that. And then Coliseum games split to actually have a story, actually have progression. You start with Pokemon at a certain level, and they get higher and higher and higher. Battle Revolution, you boot up the game, you got a team of, the mid-evolutions for the starters, Staravia, Shinx, and Staravia, Luxio, and Gabite, and they're all level 50. And that's a starting basic team you have. It's just a battle simulator. It's really not much different. It's great for the competitive scene. I'm glad this game came through. I'm not saying like this game is like crap and it shouldn't have been there. I just don't think like as a Pokemon game, it's great for anything other than being a battle simulator and to have online competitive play. You know, it's missing a lot of things that every game above it kind of fulfills. Good post game. Good progression and story. Better version of progression and story. Mwah. You know, and all the games that are going to go above here will also be in that same vein. I don't have anything worse than the worst, and I know what's going there. You know what? Worst of the worst will age very poorly. We're going to put this here. I'm not saying that this is worse than all of these games right now, But if I'm gonna give my honest opinions, I don't know if I'd play this over yellow again. I don't know if I'll go back to this game other than just like completing it just to experience it at the end. I don't think that this is like a better game than Gold and Silver or Yellow, really. I think it's probably better than Ruby and Sapphire, maybe. We're taking out bugs. We're taking out everything. We're just talking about the experience of the actual journey. This sits here currently, but it will be here. And I'm more inclined to put it where it's going to be. So I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna leave this here. Oh, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Right at the bottom here. Okay, so I think I have to put Emerald here, Coliseum, and then this, because I can't in good conscience put Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire above Emerald. I don't think that they're better games, even with the physical special split. Although there are things that are here that I think are really great and can put this game here. That's why this list is so subjective. Do you think the Battle Frontier is so good and all the additions from Emerald are so great that you can say it's better than the Dex Nav and the balancing of Mega Evolutions and inclusion of more, the better story beats, the more fleshed out team members? You have the more than just Archie and Maxie that are important for Team Aqua and Team Magma. The post game, which has an actual really good post game. That involves a Pokemon that you couldn't get in the originals. I think it's right under here, but I don't know if this is better than this. I want to say it is. Maybe when I do a playthrough of Coliseum, this will change up to here. Right? I think this might be more fair. This might be more fair because this is really like the top of this tier, and I said that this one defined the tier. Everything that's slightly above it is not much worse than it, and everything that's slightly above is not much better than it. So I think this is fair to have these ones here. But for shits and giggles, because I haven't played Coliseum in a while, although if it's, from what I remember, it's just a slightly worse version of XD Gale Darkness with less balances, less Pokemon. I want to say this. I think this is better, but I'm going to put this here just because there are some real, like, this remake is an actual decent remake. Is it anywhere near here? That's where I'm kind of getting, like, I don't know if, I think it's a more than a full tier below these. So if you want to put this here, you want to put that there or here or there, doesn't really matter. I can't put that above Emerald though. I gotta leave that there. Black and White. I know. Here we go. This is where it's gonna be. Where what? No, hold on. This fucking guy. What? I know. Hear me out. This game makes some good changes. TMs. The story and the evil team. Combining the legendary Pokemon into your adventure. Not just being this kind of mythical being. Kind of like what it was in this one. More of Heart Gold, Soul Silver. And less Diamond, Pearl, kind of Platinum. Where it's like you're dealing with the evil team and the Pokemon doesn't really have much to do with it until the end. Okay, just in their whole grand scheme of things. But Black and White have some problems. Remember what I said about Diamond and Pearl? When you take Pokemon out of the Pokedex, besides having competitive and actual like issues in the competitive scene where you're just taking fucking Pokemon out, because Pokemon are made for power creeps that happen every generation and to balance and be counters for certain Pokemon. You know, you might think that Grass Steel really isn't good because you love fire Pokemon. Right? But there's no denying that Ferrothorn is great. But Ferrothorn is there to counter things. Toxapeck, It's water poison. We've had that since Tentacruel. Yeah, but not with these stats. That thing is borderline broken when it comes to like taking Pokemon out of the Pokedex, because there are certain Pokemon that specifically check that thing or don't check that thing. Black and White didn't have that problem because they made a completely new, like, 150 Pokemon. But here's the thing with Black and White. Same thing with Diamond and Pearl. When you don't have a huge Pokedex, you have so many of the repeats, the journey gets bogged down and boring. And for me, that is the story of Black and White. Out of Black and White, you have 150 Pokemon. I think like 15 or 13 or something, or like 15 of them are like legendaries and mythicals. So about 135 of them you have in the game. How many of those are version exclusives? Let's say 10 between each. So your version is only going to have about 125 Pokemon in the entire game. Even though there's 150 new ones, you're only going to have maybe 125, 120-ish if you fully evolve everything. Well, if you're playing on your own, you're not evolving the Link Trait people, which are the two bugs, the ones that evolve into Scavalier and Salgor. And then you have the Abraline, Machopline, Geodude replacements. And I don't remember if there's one if there's a ghost one that replaces Ghastly in that one. But I know that there's, the Timber line, the Roggenrola line, and the there's another one. There's another Trait Evolution Pokemon in Black and White. Maybe I'm wrong. By the time you add all of those up, the Pokemon you can actually get just through your adventure is like less than 100, is around like 110, 115. And that's being generous. That's not actually going through how many are version exclusives. Take that to 8 gyms. If you have 100, let's be generous and say 120 Pokemon. Between 8 gyms, that means 15 Pokemon per each. If you count the Elite Four as a separate one, then you're saying 9. Well, like 14, 13 Pokemon each time. That's really not a lot. And that's including evolutions and everything. That's not a lot of Pokemon. And the thing about Black and White is it starts off so strong up to the second gym, because there's so many Pokemon. You're like, oh my god, here's a new Caterpie line, here's a new Weedle line, here's my starters. Oh, elemental monkeys help balance out your beginning. Oh, the gym, I get to choose fire, water, or grass. Awesome, that's pretty cool. We have a normal type gym as the second one. It's kind of like showcasing normal type Pokemon are strong and sturdy. Right after then, like, journey's bogged down till the end. And on a personal level, I just think that they're okay games that are fun, but are definitely flawed. I don't know if there's really any other way to describe them. I think that's perfect explanation for them. If you want to say they're a great game with small issues, sure. But this is to say that this is better than these two games. Maybe Emerald with the physical special split, breakable TMs, and Pokedex like that. But this game, that's like what, 2 generations beforehand, has a larger Pokedex than this. That's a problem. And Pokemon players, and this is a hot topic ever since Dexit, or whatever the stupid fucking name is called. It's a hot topic for Pokemon players where it's like, you know what, dude? Taking out Pokemon has its consequences. It's not like, oh, it's a good thing because it lets other Pokemon shine. Oh, this is a good thing because catch them all is now realistic. No, gotta catch them all is still however many fucking... It's still all. If it's like gotta catch them all for the game, that's a small little accomplishment to have. But to say like taking Pokemon out of the games, to not having them in there, are good things, you and I just don't agree. I will use those examples later on. Actually, we're here. Black 2, White 2. Boom. Now, best of the best is the most contentious place. Do you want to think Platinum's worse than Black 2, White 2? You're more than welcome to. You want to think Platinum's better than Heart Gold, Soul Silver? more than welcome to. You want to put this here? You're more than welcome to. I don't really have too much of an issue. This is very personal, and just I think follow Pokemon is one of the best things that's there. These two have the battle frontier. I personally don't think this is better than either of these two, and I'll tell you why. Story-wise, I don't think that story-wise, I don't think Black 2, White 2 is better than Black and White. I think Black and White has a better story overall. Having two rivals from the beginning, like it's Black and White starts off so strong. Black 2, White 2 is pretty damn good and also does start off strong. Has a new gym as the first, well, the first two gyms are actually new completely. New people, everything. Black and White 2, though, to put it here is more realistic because I think there are small issues with this game. The Pokemon World Tournament is not better than Battle Frontier. It's really good. It would have been really nice to have a Battle Frontier as well. The thing that helps, this also has the Battle Subway, so you have your more just like battle-oriented battle tower type of shit. And then you have the Pokemon World Tournament, which is really fucking cool and really good. I will no doubt say that. This gen introduces hidden abilities. You get a hidden ability Pokemon in this. I don't know if it's mandatory, like you have to capture it, but you get this Pokemon here. Oh my god. Huge. There's so many things. There's actually a decent amount of post-game stuff too. There's a lot of things you can capture and have afterwards. Here's where Black 2, White 2 fail for me. Well, not fail. They're small issues, and why I'm more inclined to put that here than here. The middle of the game is so similar to Black and White, it's bogged down. I even played this game. I played this game right after Black and White, and I was hyped for Black and White. I really like Black and White. I think they're really good. As you can tell, like Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 kind of stumbles, isn't all over the place. Gen 4, Gen 5, like they're all slightly getting better up to Black and White. Black and White's really good. Again, you want to put Black and White right here? I think Black and White are better than Mega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire? Okay, sure. I don't think it's better than Emerald. And I really think that there are some changes and things that are in here that are really good for the series. And there are just some things that this had that are just flawed. If this didn't have the decks that this had, this would be here, potentially here, and these would be the shortest gap of the better Pokemon games, because there's a huge gap between like Diamond and Pearl and this, right, or Emerald and that, and even XD Gale Darkness, Coliseum have these games in between. And Black 2, White 2, it gets bogged down in the middle. I don't think the story is as good. There's like open-ended plot threads with like the trio. Are they the original gym leaders from the first gym leaders from Black and White? Are they not? Some more open-ended questions that are just, you know, they started like building lore and just kind of like left things open to expand upon future games, which is fine, but you know, this game doesn't feel like a satisfying conclusion to Black. Like this, I didn't feel like this story needed to be there for Black and White. Like this isn't such a huge enhancement on it. I just think the additions that it has of extended Pokedex is the biggest one, and Pokemon World Tournament. The overall gym experience, I like that they changed up the gyms a little bit. There are 2 new gym leaders. Well, there's 3 new gym leaders. One of them is an older gym leader. Has some cool new areas. Has some post game stuff. I think they're great games with really small issues. Again, if you think they're the best of the best, sure, but I do think this has small issues that are not prevalent in here. There's no cut Pokedex for this. I'd even say this has a more opened Pokedex than the original games. And the things that it has of like follow Pokemon, the adventure just being better and longer. Its post game, I think, is slightly better. having those things there without having the flaws of like the middle of this game is bogged down. That's like it's already done. Like if you've played Gold and Silver, you'll still play Soul like Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and it'll feel similar, but it'll be new. There are new story beats because this is modeled after more of Crystal, and it does also change and add things from Crystal. So these do have actual additions, although the like what gym leaders you face, story beats and everything, blah blah blah, are still there. It adds other stuff with your rival and Team Rocket and Giovanni. There are things that it expands upon that are really, really great. I don't think the differences between these two are as big, other than the Pokemon decks, which I said, if the Pokemon decks were in this one, like the same exact Pokemon decks, the gap between these two would be smaller, because these are Black and White and Black 2 White 2 are pretty solid games. They are like the consistently pretty high on everyone's list. The animations are also really cool, the in-battle ones. I personally I hate that danger low health sound in these games. I hate them. I don't really like the starter Pokemon either. And I think these gens are also bogged down of a lot of their Pokemon aren't interesting because you just have so many that just aren't. The famous, trash bag and ice cream cone Pokemon, which is just like, yeah, personally, I don't really like the trash bag Pokemon. I don't like the ice cream Pokemon. I'm not big on Swoobat and Woobat. Roggenrola is cool. Conkeldurr is cool. Their evolution lines are okay. Deerling, I don't think is anybody's favorite Pokemon. Saucebuck sucks. There's a lot of Pokemon. Leavanny is not great. Whirlipede, Scolipede, okay. There's so many Pokemon that it's hard for a lot of them to feel special when there's so many of them just feel very similar too. In these games, there are no Therian forms for the Royal Genies, the Legendary Genies. In this, there's no. I don't think Keldio's in any game until here, and then he also gets a Resolute form. But Cobalion, Virizion, Terrakion, everybody's got a favorite, and it's not Virizion. And the Genie Pokemon, I think in their incarnate forms, they're cool, and I like using them, competitively, but I don't think design-wise they're really, unique. But then you have this, and I think this game is also increased, a lot of people put this here because they got Black 2, White 2 with Dream Radar. Pokemon Home is at its peak. So it's like the whole Pokemon experience by this time was, at its peak. So that's why this game is seen as so, these games are just like, oh my god, everyone's like, what? How do you like one or the other over them? They're so good. They're like the best of the best. And it's like, well, when you take out Radar, when you take out Home, when you take out the connectivity of all of them, I think here is a fair place to go. But there are enough differences here to have that difference. Okay, so let's move on. Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon is somewhere in this tier. I don't know where. I think it's right. I think I want to say it's right here. I think I'm gonna settle here. So here's the thing about Sun and Moon. This is the game I'm most flexible about if somebody wants to bitch and complain about it. If somebody's like, yo, Sun and Moon kind of sucks, dude. It's like Let's Go style, level. It's fine. If you don't like Sun and Moon as much as Coliseum or Black and White, alright. I don't think Sun and Moon is worse than Let's Go. I don't think it's worse than Crystal or Diamond and Pearl. I don't think it's worse than these. I don't think it's worse than Battle Revolution. Right? And I don't personally think it's worse than Black and White and Coliseum, as adventures. And the reason is there are a ton of Pokemon. The new mechanics, meh. They tried something new with the gyms. They tried something new. They didn't give you gym badges. You create the Pokemon League is being created. You are the first champion. There are champion rematches when you're playing the game. You interact with Red and Blue. That's a big plus. The legendary Pokemon evolve. That's also I like that really cool plot line where the partner you're having along, or one of your partners that's there, has this side Pokemon that you're saving from the very beginning. That's the main legendary Pokemon. I think having Aether Foundation as like the real, evil team, and then having like the smaller side grunts as like Team Skull to kind of like fuck up your journey along the way, I think is perfect. I think their attitudes also fit. Aether Foundation is helping you until the very end, and then they have like a bunch of more trained Pokemon, and I get through them. Team Skull are like the grunts that are just stealing everybody else's Pokemon. They have the consistent, poison types and whatever that everyone else has. I think Guzma and Plumeria, I believe is her name, are cool. Gladion and Lily are cool. I think this game has good characters overall. This game erased HMs completely, although they come back in other games. Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, why you're in Worst of the Worst. There's a lot of things in these games that are really good. Yeah, I do think that they have small issues and are flawed. The cutscenes suck. And again, if I'm going to talk about like on a coding level, this game is here. this game's like right above Let's Go, right? I can put this here. I think the coding, this game shows Game Freak sucks at coding, and this is not very good. It's really, really bad that they're doing this. I think that's hilarious to see this game like broken down and see how it's coded. I think it's hilarious. But I think the Pokemon game is here. I think if you handed this game to anybody who like has Crystal, right, as like a top game, or like they were like, hey, I played Coliseum. Coliseum was really fun. The Let's Go games are okay. Crystal is like pretty good Pokemon experience. You give them this, we'll find things to enjoy about it. Some of the shitty things are like, I don't like how his character growth and everything's okay, but I'm not a huge fan of how. I like the Alola region overall. It's alright. But really it's like ride Pokemon, getting rid of HMs, and all the little small quality of life stuff that's there. It's kind of nice. Z-moves I also feel mixed on. As a mechanic, back over to Z-moves, I don't really have a preference for them. This one you have both. You don't have to use them too. Like you don't have to use Z-moves. The game is pretty easy. You don't have to use it. This game also has the SOS system with the Adrenal Orb. That's my personal favorite for ability and Shining Hunting. One of my favorites. Let me leave it at that, because there is another one that's my favorite, but it doesn't have abilities as well. It's just a Shining Hunting method. I'd put it here because I think the Dex Nav and everything's really good. I think SOS is better. This game still has HMs. This post game is really good. This doesn't really have too much post game, but I think the quality of life stuff here is like slightly better. Again, if you want to put this here, like this is where they're going. They're kind of interchangeable there. But I'll put this here because we have Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I know. I would put this here, and I could put this here. This don't matter at all. But here's the thing. The shiny legendary hunting in here is awesome. The expanded decks in here is awesome. The updated move pools that's existed here are awesome. But this has an even worse, what I said that there's really not much of a difference of black and white, or to black 2, white 2. Story-wise, there is. I don't like black 2, white 2 story as much as black and white, even though they have so many things that bring it more than this. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. I don't really have a preference over one of these stories over the other. One of them does certain things better. The other one does certain things better. And the Ultra Recon Squad traveling through that zone is kind of a pain in the ass, but it's cool. You have a whole other separate zone there. You've got the Ultra Beasts. You've got Necrozma and the extra Z moves that are put in here. And I like some of the extra Z moves here. Broken Komodos. What's that name? Lycanroc. So there's lots of things in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon specifically that are like pretty good. Again, I would put this more here. And the only reason why neither of these two games are above Emeralds, because Battle Frontier is such a big thing. I don't think your game has to be really good to go over that. So to put this here is also fine. I think the gap between these two games is kind of small, but this game is better, specifically for people who want the legendary hunting or anything like that. I mean, it's really good. It's really fun. Oh shit, I skipped X and Y. X and Y. Here. This, you know what? I'm inclined to do this because I know XD Gale of Darkness and I know Coliseum and I remember it a little bit. I'm gonna put this here just for now, but I think this might change. So X and Y. The transfer to 3D was so awkward and crappy. The models look cool, but they're lifeless. It has different perspectives for the cameras. None of them you're able to choose. HMs are still here. Using the control pad and having to go on the roller skates every time, that animation change every single time, is fucking annoying. But X and Y, I do like the Pokemon that's there. I do like a lot of the Pokemon. I think that both legendary Pokemon are fucking great. I think Zygarde's cool. These games and the lore of them and everything with Zygarde also improves Sun and Moon, where you collect the Zygarde cells. I think it's this one, right? Because in this one you have the totem. Yeah, this one you have the totem stickers. This one's the Zygarde cells. But this game has absolutely no post game. The evil team is so generic and crappy. Like we're right back to, like this, right? Like this is not a good evil team. This fleshes it out more, but this is not a great evil team. I don't think this is a great evil team either. This is not a great evil team. I think Mega Evolutions are cool, even though they're flawed in here a little bit. They're balanced more here. There's no post game at all. Like once you're done, you're done. There's a lot of Pokemon to get, and I think the gyms are pretty nice. I think the Elite Four is pretty nice. I don't like the I just don't know which, like, I think Black 2, White 2 are more fun to play, have a better post game. But I think I get less bored of the type of Pokemon in X and Y. Although the evil team is better in Black and White, and the story overall with legendary Pokemon. Although, I mean, I think all four of these legendary Pokemon are really fucking cool. I love these guys and their typings and their lore and everything. And I like these guys. I think Fairy is a much needed balance to the metagame. That was really needed for Pokemon. Because dragons were just too much. They're going too fucking crazy and wild. And yeah, so I mean, if you want to move them, that's up to you. It doesn't really matter. I don't really think it's a problem. And that's that. There's not really more to talk about here. It's kind of self-explanatory that this game has some things that are more enjoyable than Black and White, but overall not all of the things, or not most of the things. And I don't think the art style change from the transition from 3D here is better than the 2D that's here. Like this is 2D at its peak. This is 3D at its like beginning, like shitty stage. Although I think this looks slightly better. until you go look at Tropius with the T pose or Swellow with the T pose, just chilling there. Okay. So now that we're done there, now we get the stuff that's going to piss off everybody. Sword and Shield, worst of the worst. I don't think it's worse than this. Will age very poorly. This right here is what defines what goes here. Because worst of the worst is really subjective, but these age poorly. This will age horribly as it goes on. Sword and Shield has already aged bad. It aged bad a year after it came out. I think honestly, if you're gonna put the actual gameplay of it, maybe it's over here. If I'm gonna write Pokemon designs and everything, probably a little more. The evil team and everything sucks. I don't like it here either. But this game deserves to be here. So get ready. Here's the hour-long rant. I'm gonna go just a little bit and talk about what's going on here with this game. The DLC has cut content and is unnecessary. The DLC adds things that are incomplete, like Follow Pokemon. Follow Pokemon. The reason why I put this here, there are games here that just do things better than this game does, whether they're older or newer games. This Follow Pokemon are done better in this game. I actually think they're kind of done better here as well, but you still have the same teleporting issue. It's just more jarring on a 3D with an open camera. There are legitimate things about Sword and Shield. I think its soundtrack is actually pretty good for a Pokemon game. There are some soundtracks that are like, some of it's a little too upbeat, poppy, but some of it's actually really cool. I like the Legendaries theme with the howls mixed in with them. I think it's Leon's, the Final Champions theme. There's a couple other ones, Battle theme. I like the concept of the gyms too. The going through the different gyms and having different challenges instead of just like battling people and going through is nice. It's cool. But the fact that your gyms aren't all the same, the fact that I think that was a really cool thing in the Pokemon League, and then all the gym leaders and everything come for this big tournament in the end, and then the winner gets to face off against the champion. I think all that's really cool, but it's still half baked. I think it could have been a lot better. I think you could have had a rotating switch of the different gym leaders. I think you could have made an expansive end game story where you have to go and fight all of the other gym leaders or all of them in general, instead of some of them showing up in your daily Pokemon tournament post game. Leon is a plot device that takes away the fun, important parts of you. As far as the story goes, too, you're barely involved with like the story of the legendary You're involved in the first 40 minutes and the last hour. Other than that, you're kind of a side character, which is not great when you're supposed to be playing the MC. Leon kind of feels like the MC until you kick his ass, which might have been intentional because he's supposed to feel like the champion of champions, and it's what the anime tries to portray too. But I didn't like it. I would have preferred us doing some things. Dynamax. Okay, now we're gonna get to the things that really suck about Sword and Shield. And I'm going to leave out the DLC from all of this. I'm just going to say the DLC is just disgusting. It doesn't help this game. That's why it helps age it poorly. Because the DLC also is separate for each version, which this is like the pinnacle of shittiness from Pokemon. And then they made Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. Right? And then Go is just separate. Go is not even a video. And I'll talk about Go right afterwards before we get to these last two. So Sword and Shield, Dynamax sucks. Dynamax is unbalanced and broken. Completely. It's just not balanced at all. Could it have been balanced? Maybe. 1.5 times HP is a starter. or it gives you a boost of 1.5 of defense and special defense that is immovable while you're Dynamaxed, but you have the same HP. You can still have the thing of certain moves don't work with Dynamax, like low kick, heavy slam, things that are affected by size and weight. But then you should have it where on the actual battle screen while they're Dynamaxed, that move says ineffective, non-effective, doesn't work. Because it's just a guessing game. There's so many things about Dynamax that I don't like. And then one of the things that's also tied to it, raids and dens. I think the concept of a raid battle for this, which was just essentially Sword and Shield and Let's Go, are adopting things from Go that they thought would work. The catching mechanic here was a good start, but is flawed. The raid battles here are an interesting concept, but dens are so fucking mind-numbingly easy or tedious to do. It's another half-baked idea. I can't choose my allies. I get random allies. When you have a game that you finally know all, there's a gym leader for every type. Why would my Pokemon there, the trainers and everything you fought, why are they not on the list of trainers you can use for dens? Why was that not a thing? Why, if I don't want to Dynamax, or I'm not going to Dynamax, or I have a Pokemon like Eternatus or Zacian Zamazenta that I'm using that I can't Dynamax with, why can't my partners that are AIs, not online, why can't my AI partners Dynamax? I thought that was impossible till I got to post-game and you play with Hop, and Hop Dynamaxes while you're playing a fucking Dynamax raid battle. Why is it in this one specific case and this wasn't adopted for everything else and it would have enhanced the experience? It's so all over the place. I'm not a fan. I don't like it. I don't like dens. They're so half-assed and half-baked. The wild area is it's garbage. It's hot garbage. I'll get to talking what I think about open world and pop and everything when we get to Arceus, and I'll get there. Trust me, I'll get there. And it might surprise you with its placing, but it has enough things to balance out. The wild area, I don't know what I like more. The wild area where I get open camera, dropping frame rates, pop-ins right fucking in front of me constantly. Lifeless 3D models that sometimes, like Graplocked, look pretty cool when they're coming towards you. Other times are just like exclamation point, turn, comes towards you. The characters are still on. I complained this about Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. The characters are on an X and Y grid. They're not on a 3D axis. Same with this game. It's just the camera perspective hides a lot of it. They're still mostly on that same axis. The areas are also not great. The caves in this game suck. There's two. They're almost identical. They suck. And this game has some okay things. This game introduced mints. This game has... what else does this game have? This game has some really good competitive items. Heavy Duty Boots is one of the best competitive items to be added ever. Next to like Eviolite, Assault Vest, the choice items. It's like leftovers level of like, just, you don't know what to put on something? Throw on a Heavy Duty Boots. Won't get poisoned, won't get hurt by hazards. You're good. But then this game has so many flaws and so many things bad with it. Out of a game that has 400 Pokemon, there are only 2 legendaries you can catch base game. 2 legendaries without paying the $30 fucking paywall. 2 legendaries. Your box legendary, which you get post game, and the 3rd legendary, Eternatus, or Eternatus, whatever its name is. And you catch, I think it's mandatory that you catch this thing. I threw a Pokeball on mine, and I caught it first try. I think it's not even like mandatory like in Black and White where it's mandatory you have to catch that Pokemon and then it goes into your party and then you face N with the opposite legendary. No, you just have to catch it. And then it has nothing else to do with the story or anything. It could sit in your box and it's nothing. But it's only 2. There's 2 legendary Pokemon. No past ones. They couldn't bring back Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno originals. They couldn't bring back the dogs. They couldn't give you the lake spirits. They couldn't give you the base Reggies. They couldn't give you anything. Not a goddamn Pokemon. As much as I think Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl kind of suck, it still gives you a free Mew and Jirachi if you have save files for Let's Go and Sword and Shield. Still a free Pokemon that doesn't really, it's something great. Thank you. I can put this in my box and never use it. I could break the game and use it as my main team or anything in between. It's my choice. But here you go. Here's this. It doesn't have a value. It's a mythical Pokemon. It doesn't have a specific value over another Pokemon. It's just we made it harder for it to get. That's it. But it's still obtainable in a lot of games. This game was just like, no, fuck that. We'll give you a lot of Pokemon. Oh yeah, we'll give you a lot of Pokemon, but we will not give you legendaries. We won't give you old ones. And for a game that was not able to, without Pokemon Home, is not able to interact with anything unless I pay $30 and I can't get other legendaries. And what happens if you pay $30? What are the other legendaries you get, you might be asking? Well, I believe the original Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno are also in the legendary pack. But you have the Galarian Zapdos, Moltres, Articuno. You have Cubfu and Urshifu, whatever form you choose to get. You've got Calyrex and the horses, either Spectrier or Glacier. You have the Reggies that you can get in addition to either Regieleki or Regidraco, and then finally Regigigas. And I believe there's a couple others that are in there. But that's already like 9. That's 9. For $30 extra. How much was in the base $60 game that was already it was already a 50% increase to what the older games were on the old hardware? How many? 2. What's the post game? Battle Tower. Wow. With 2 legendary Pokemon. Battle Tower. No random, no nothing. Battle Tower. The only thing that's a saving grace of that post game is people can have a team, upload the code, you can upload it, and use that team. Yay! Without having the Pokemon. Like actually in your party. There are so many things that this game just fucking sucks at. Terrible. And I'm not even going on the wild area. I can go in depth. The wild area looks like shit. It's uninteresting. There's almost nothing there. I already said the Pokemon look lifeless. The things that you can do in the wild area, I can go up to a tree. I can interact with Pokemon. There's nothing else. And I'm still stuck going to that completely different battle animation screen. It's not like at least Legends Arceus where everything stays in that 3D camera. It's just a camera transition, but you're still in that big overworld while you're battling. Not for this. It doesn't even have the bonuses of something that's mediocre in that regard, or is above mediocre. It's so poor in so many ways that if you think Sword and Shield's somewhere in here, cool. But Sword and Shield an okay game that's fun but definitely flawed? That's the most you can give that game. That's the biggest praise you can give that game right here. And no, it is not better than Let's Go. It is not better than Crystal. I don't think it's better than Diamond and Pearl, but sure, you want to put that here? Sure. Objectively, this is not Sword and Shield. There is no way it's better than any of these. Any of these. And down here, the cut Pokemon from the decks that are actually programmed into the game. They're still programmed in the game. Darkrai is programmed in the base game. It just has a Pikachu model. What was the other thing? There was one thing that was like disgusting. The frame rate when you go online, I mean, how many things are disgusting on this game? The frame rate when you go online dips to like 10 to 15 sometimes. It looks terrible. Fucking terrible. When you go up a ladder, when you're in the 2D sections, when the overhead camera and you're going up a ladder, the overall Pokemon and everyone who's moving just freezes and stops. It's like the whole world stops while you're climbing the ladder. It just looks like shit in so many ways. It does. And then post game, there's just nothing to do. Nothing. You have the tournament, yay. You got the battle tower. It's a step backwards from. I mean, post game, it's a step backwards from here. As far as what you can do completionist, I think Let's Go with the master trainers and shiny hunting and this and everything is better. Also, this game is coming off of Sun and Moon and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire as the last mainline games before it. Okay? Because it was X and Y. Then you have Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, Sun and Moon, Ultra Sun and Moon, and then Sword and Shield. These 3 games have good shiny methods. Good shiny hunting methods. This one is like a step backwards. Why? Why is it harder and more annoying to shiny hunt? Other than I don't understand a shiny hunter, because it's like we will just argue because I don't understand the concept of re-getting a shiny Pokemon in every single game. It's just monotonous, tedious work for nothing instead of just you already did that and Pokemon Company doesn't allow you to transfer anything here. And then if we had Pokemon Home as well, Pokemon Home would go here because I think that's also, it's not a video game. It's not even a connection to a video game. It's a cash grab. So that's why it would also go here. And I think that Pokemon Home and the implementation of it also hurts this game a lot. I don't think it hurts this game. And I don't think it actually hurts this game. I think this game is hurting itself plenty. I don't think Pokemon Home affects Let's Go or Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl. It does affect Sword and Shield. Because there's no reason why Sword and Shield can't connect through Home and you can transfer everything that was already in bank to Home for a reasonable price. Instead of equivalent to a Nintendo subscription. Online subscription. So that's my rant, Sword and Shield. Again, you want to put it up here. The very highest. Cool. I think that you're wrong, but whatever. You want to put it anywhere in here. Bad experience with big flaws, but still playable. I think that also fits, but worst of the worst is a much better title for Sword and Shield. Is it worse than Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl? Time will tell, but I think overall, like I already said, I think Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl is like right here. I think overall, with time, this will age down here. This will not be good. I can't put this here on any of these because I think that this is just so bad it has to go down here. Personal opinions. Again, this list is subjective. Quickly before we move on. Pokemon Go. Okay, Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go is not a game. I tried playing a lot of Pokemon Go when Let's Go came out for the Melmetal event, or to get Meltan and Melmetal, transfer them to the game. I couldn't. So everyone at work wouldn't connect to my Switch. No matter what I did, no matter what Wi-Fi I used, no matter what I did. I don't know what the problem was. And I've seen problems of just people posting on forums, hey, I can't get this to work. What's going on? I get the same error code that I was getting at that point. Just wasn't working. If your game can't work, what's the problem? What's the point of it? This game has daily logins like any mobile game. There is not more than a handful of weeks out of the months that I would constantly, because I'd go walk to work. I had 6 Pokestops on the way. Just go there, flick the Pokestop, get a couple of items. At work, going back home, flick the Pokestops while I'm leaving, or if I'm on a lunch break and I'm going to get lunch up the street, a couple more Pokestops, and I just get free daily items. Oh, there you go, catch a Pokemon, get my login. But you need to actually log in, go to a Pokestop. You need to log in, go to a Pokestop, and catch a Pokemon for the weekly, big weekly rewards. This game has, maybe it doesn't anymore. This is a while ago, but this is not in the first year of its life cycle. This game, for the first 3 years, 4 years maybe, while I was still half-assed kind of playing it, the servers would be constantly down. If your game is online and your servers aren't permanently down, they're still open, and the server, I can't connect to a game every day that requires me to log in every day to get bonuses. Otherwise, it resets my weekly rewards to base again. It's not a game. It fails as a game because its online servers don't work. So, if this wasn't here, cash grabs, this is here. This is here. There's no competition between this, but since this is such a difference between these two, it has to go here. That's my opinions. That's all I'm going to talk about Pokemon Go. If you like the game, I don't know why, go play something real. Go play something nice. If you like Pokemon Go, go play Let's Go. Let's Go is better. Like, by far, much better. Okay, so now we're going to get to Evan pisses everyone off. Legends Arceus. Legends Arceus exists in this tier. Where it goes in this tier is up to you. Is it the worst is it a cash grab that isn't even qualified to be called a video game? Absolutely not. Is it a worst of the worst or will age very poorly? No. It's nowhere near this. Is it a bad experience with big flaws and still playable? Or a dated game? No, it's not. Is it an okay game that is fun but definitely flawed? This is the first tier where this could exist. All right, and if you're someone who's like, I live for Pokemon for Nuzlocking, then maybe you don't think Legends Arceus is better than like Black and White or anything, but Legends Arceus better than everything in this tier, my opinion. Yeah, there's nothing here that is better. Is it a great game with small issues? This is where we start getting. You want to actually, if Legends Arceus exists somewhere along this line, and your games might look different that are here. Legends Arceus exists along this line of great games with small issues. Sure. There are things that I can forgive and overlook because of the bonuses. Hey, I can overlook the physical special split and more lack of items and other things. You can't catch older Pokemon a lot, and there's not too many new Pokemon for Emerald. I can forgive all that stuff for the Battlefront tier and the I'd say better version of the story that you get. So it does have small issues. Here's the thing on Legends Arceus. I still have my review is long, so it's gonna take a while for me to edit it. It'll probably take like a month to come out with that fucking thing. It's gonna be like an hour. And I got to make sure that like I want to actually edit it to make it look nice. Other than this, where it's just me and a static screen, my cursor going around, pointing to you guys. Well, Legends Arceus. Here's the thing. On the Switch, it's locked 30. Not undocked, dips to 29 for the weird. Digital Foundry talked about it. Weird reasons. And it's on 30. Even if I take that in consideration, because that is not the version of this game that I played. This game adds and changes so many things to the formula that a lot of these games in these two tiers attempted but didn't fully do. Catching mechanics, different in Let's Go. Here they are much better. Much better. Omega Ruby with the Dex Nav, and then the Adrenaline Orbs with the SOS system in here tried to make shiny hunting and everything better. This is the one game that has the best shiny hunting ever. All of these games, why I put this here as well, I'll put it here to not piss people off while I'm describing things, but this is where it is for me. This game is a single experience. I don't need to trade with a goddamn person to get the full Pokedex. Because the full Pokedex is something you can obtain on your own. I don't need to trade. This is the first game where they added an item to evolve Link Trade Evolution Pokemon. Thank you. Thank you. I have always wanted to be playing my game instead of having to go online or playing an older version or a Nuzlocke. Damn it, I get stuck catching an Abra. It's great. As soon as it's Kadabra, it's going to be a powerhouse. As soon as I get my Machoke or my Haunter or my Graveler, they're going to be powerhouses until like the 5th gym, and then their stats are just going to get outweighed because I can't evolve them because I'm stuck with them. Somebody who doesn't have a good internet connection. Someone who doesn't have friends. You can just catch and evolve everything in this game. Pokemon have scale. Actual scale and size. If you have 6 different Pikachus of all different sizes and you throw them out of their Pokeballs and you see them all lined up next to each other, they all different sizes. It's a scale that this game tried to do. It didn't do as well. Games like this did horribly. I think this is the only other one that did it right, out of this tier in Coliseum. Battle Revolution for like actual sizes, but they were more for the competitive scene. Your Pokemon can come out and chill out with you, and they've got different animations. So for a 3D Pokemon game, your own Pokemon, you can throw your Pokemon on the ground, they sit out there, and they've actually got animations. They've got standing animations, they've got just completely idle ones, they've got like my Rhyperior. If I send out my Rhyperior can just chill and stand there. If I throw my Rhyperior at another one of my Pokemon, it'll interact with my Pokemon. It'll look like they're like talking to each other. If I send out Rhyperior and I just leave him, eventually he'll sit down and just chill. It's different than his standing animation. And then he has a sleeping animation. So he has 4 different animations for a Pokemon that has different sizes compared to whatever its actual size is, actually scaled in the game properly. Better than what a lot of these other games. It has crafting. None of these games have crafting. Has a dodge mechanic and something that involves you, the player, doing something. The whole concept of this game's open world is the wild area if the wild area wasn't complete shit. And the thing is, textures don't look good, and the pop-in is really bad for this game. Specifically at the space-time distortions. I really don't like them. I think the pop-in is so bad there. But overall, this game is better than like everything else. The battle system is overhauled, more balanced. Every Pokemon feels like, hey, I can use this Pokemon. As shitty as it may be, because they're all a lot more balanced than any of these other games. But if the flaws of Legends Arceus, and I enjoyed catching Pokemon, looking for the Pokemon. Not all the time, not post-game. I didn't enjoy the Spiritomb quest. And I don't like that 2 evolution lines are locked behind the space-time distortions that are RNG. Those are the most annoying parts of that. Add the pop-in, those are the most annoying parts of the game. Other than that, I'll take the less battles here, like trainer battles, to have better trainer battles. To have more balanced battling system. I just think that this is better than most of these games in almost every single way. If you want to put this here, because technically this game doesn't really have a post game and it doesn't have online, it doesn't have online battle. If you want to put that there, I'm fine with that. If you think that this is like anywhere near here, I don't know what you and I don't agree on what the future of Pokemon could and should be. Because I think this is the future of Pokemon. This is the groundwork that they need. This is this right here. This is like X and Y was like kind of a step backwards because it did some good things, but then did some really bad things. But X and Y, when they made the transition to that different graphical style or that different type of style from 2D animation to 3D animation, it was awkward. When Sword and Shield tried to implement, at least in a certain part of the game, an open camera free range on the camera movement. Wasn't good at all. Wasn't great, wasn't good. By gameplay standards, it's below 30 FPS with terrible pop-in. And I think the pop-in and the textures in Sword and Shield, the wild area, are worse than anything that I've seen in Legends Arceus. Anything. So this is just a flat-out improvement from the wild area. But this is the first time that Pokemon has a full free-range camera constantly. You have a dodge mechanic. You catch Pokemon on the outside. You have crafting. And they're so much better than what X and Y first tried. It's better than what Sword and Shield tried with the wild area. It's better than the 2D animations that increased in Black and White. I think all of the changes that this makes to the Pokemon formula, readjusting statuses and status conditions, they're not permanent anymore. You readjusted freeze and sleep, which people complained about, although I think critical hit's the next thing that needs to just go from the series as a whole. All the legendary Pokemon you can catch. All these things that are in this game, there were not significant bad things, which is kind of surprising. I was expecting this game to suck a lot more. So that's why it goes there. Again, you want to put it here, fine. If you want to start putting it in this tier, great games with small issues, it fits this title, but it is not on the same level. Like this is about as low as I can possibly go. Maybe here. I don't even know if I'd say Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Like, I can't really go much lower than that if I consider all of the bad things as some of them inexcusable. Because I don't think that this is not a cash grab on any of the level that these are. It's not dated like these. It's not definitely flawed in the obvious ways these are. It has small issues. But the same way that Black 2, White 2 has small issues and has such good things, that's why it's on the top here, or I could put it here. That's why Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon has small issues, but more, which is why it's less than. I think that the small issues here are less than what's in Black 2, White 2 and Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Again, you want to put that there, put this here, and this is your list, fine. I think that this is a complete journey that would be enhanced with having online and doesn't need it. You can catch every Pokemon that's in this game's Pokedex in this game. That's a first for Pokemon. It's what I've wanted as a Pokemon player forever. Because I hate the version bullshit. Hate it. And then the last game, Temtem. It's going to piss off every single Pokemon person. If you haven't played Temtem, you're like, Temtem? Temtem's not a Pokemon game. Well, it's not. But with Legends Arceus here, I wanted to bring it up. So a lot of Pokemon people don't know about Temtem. You don't know about Temtem? Go look at Temtem. Go experience it out. It's on every major platform right now. Switch, I think, is the only one it's not. I know it's on Xbox. I know it's on PlayStation. I know it's on PC. It's where I play it. Has an unlocked frame rate, so I can play it at 144 frames. Not that you really need to play this type of game at 144 frames, but it looks great. The art style is incredible. This has things that are just better than every Pokemon game. HMs are items you obtain from gyms. You get a traversal item, and it replaces what the HMs are. You get your traversal items taken away at certain points. So the game isn't just here's all your exploration stuff and it's easy. Because I would say Legends Arceus is that. Once you start getting the right Pokemon, the exploration comes kind of mind-numbing and easy. And now it's just the Pokemon, the interactivity with them, that's more the harder part. But this game, nah. A+ there. The battle system, better than PP system, personally. I wish it was more mainstream. and I wish there was an easy way to get into it like Pokemon Showdown is. Because if Pokemon Showdown wasn't around, I wouldn't be playing competitive Pokemon. I wouldn't be buying one of these games to go be playing competitive Pokemon. Because Pokemon Showdown is around, I still play competitive Pokemon at all. But I think the competitive scene here is better. They adjust things. They actually make changes to like some of the moves and abilities and held items and Pokemon or the Tems. There is this. It's a more mature story. The characters are more interesting. It doesn't have voice acting, but every character's got some sort of like kind of grunts. So they at least try to add something, so it's not just like empty background sounds. The world is really nice. It's really big and expansive. It's interesting. The evolutions happen mid-battle. So if your Charmeleon turns level 36 and there's still 3 Pokemon left, it will evolve right there, and then the battle will continue instead of you having to wait to the end of the battle, because then you accrue more XP. You can miss a certain move, blah, 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 blah. It's a whole range of issues. Hey, it leveled up to that level. Evolve right now. He's evolving. He's leveled up. He reached that level. Why does it have to wait till the end of the battle, right? Which I think this also improves on. Manually getting to evolve your Pokemon. Your choice. Cool. It really helps. I just think that there's so many things. There's a ton of post game. There's more being added. A lot of it's being added for free. So if you bought the game from the beginning, you don't have to pay more. You supported them. They're gonna keep adding stuff. If you waited until it was like $50, $60 on PS5 or the Xbox Series X, cool. When they add new stuff, it's all free, completely. Trading, battling, everything. You have an online connection, you're good. You don't need another subscription service. You don't need to pay us for anything. You want to transfer this to, you want to trade to another one. You don't have to have, there's no Tem Home. There's no nothing. Everything that a Pokemon series does in its games, this does better. The only thing that I would say is that there are things that are adopted in this game that I would love to see Temtem take over. But if Temtem just becomes the better version of what Pokemon is, this is the best of best. This is the best Pokemon's been. If Pokemon and Game Freak learned and made the game that Temtem has made, just with the Pokemon IP, it would be the best Pokemon game they've had. Because there are just so many changes and things that they have that are like, duh, why isn't this a thing? It's got some things that I guess are more dated. Random encounters, which now it feels dated, like now. But I mean, random encounters are also in here. They suck. I just think that overall the things that it does as a game is better than all of them. Follow Tems look great, look better than I'd say even this, because it's still like 2D kind of art. This is a little more 3D animation. You actually get to see the real Tems moving around. When you're always online, you are constantly seeing other people go through. There's a chat box. You can talk to people. It's just like if Pokemon were a real game, it would be called Temtem. So for anybody who has played any of these, if you've not played Temtem, you can't put this on the list, right? It's not anything to you, right? You have no idea. It's off the list. If you've played it or you haven't played it and you have an opinion of it, go play it. It's better than everything that's here. But I think as far as like Pokemon goes, as far as the Pokemon formula, this does a much better job than everything in here, and mostly does a better job than the things in here, these two games, because this is the only one that's different. So I'm going to put my enjoyment maybe here. If I'm going to put on a technical level, maybe here or here, because of the different animations and everything. So this is it. This is my full list. Hopefully you're not looking at this at the end. Hopefully you're not skipping to the end to just see like, oh, I just want to see where he put my favorite games or put my gen there. But hopefully you heard the explanation or you go to the explanation. I'll try to possibly put timestamps, but I think this is a pretty fair list of best quality Pokemon games. You know, and I'm gonna piss off so many people with this list. I'm gonna piss off the black and white lovers. I'm gonna piss off the people who love Battle Revolution and Coliseum games, XD Guild Darkness. I'm gonna piss off the fucking Gen 1ers with this. I'm gonna piss off the Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Platinum people, which is also me, by doing this. I'm pissing off everybody. That's fine. I'm pissing off the Sword and Shield people, which is, I feel bad for that you're a Sword and Shield person, just in general. And I guess I'll piss off the Pokemon Go people. I'm pissing off a lot of people with this specific list. I don't really care. I don't care if you're mad. I think this is a pretty good list for quality, like actual quality. Which ones are excusable with their issues, which ones are not excusable. I think these ones are excusable with the issues that they have. I think these ones have some issues that are excusable, but they just have flaws that don't make them as good as the tier above them, and then that follows suit for everyone. The one above it, these ones have even more flaws that put them above these. These ones really don't have as many like flaws or they're bad experiences, but they're dated games. You know, and realistically, if I didn't have the cash grabs one, this is why I added cash grabs in the end, because this is what I intended. I knew what the bottom 3 games are going to be. It's going to be this. And I thought this was going to be the list. But I can't call Pokemon Go a game, and I can't say like as games that like these are flawed. These are the very first generations. I can excuse like some of the coding stuff that they didn't understand, that they started, fixing some things here. And I just think like these are dated, which is why this is specifically here, because a lot more of these games are dated. Like this isn't a bad experience. They're not like bad experiences. So not great. There we go. Not great experiences with big flaws, but still playable. Or dated games. All of these are not great experiences with big flaws, but still playable. Or enjoyable if you like them. Because again, all of this is subjective. It is. Objectively, I don't think anything can go up or down a full tier. Like, I don't think you can put Let's Go in great games with small issues. I don't think you can say that Black and White or even X and Y are not great experiences with big flaws. And they're just okay games that are fun, but definitely flawed. Even this, like, to the bottom of here, I think there are just so many good things that are in this game. Fairy types, a lot of the Pokemon in there. The transition to 3D was nice at first. I think there are some good things here. The Pokemon in the generation are actually really cool, really good. So many things. And then, and Mega Evolutions. Like, Mega Evolutions are for kind of everyone. They're for the competitive people, they're for the Gen 1ers, they're for the new people. It's for everyone. Z moves is kind of, borderlining mostly for the competitive people, and then Dynamax just pisses off everyone who's not a Pokemon shill. And then the style system. This also has the best gimmick of any Pokemon game. So I think it's more balanced than anything else that's here. So yeah, I've been talking for like almost 2 hours, I think, on this. So I'm going to end this here. But I think that this is what this is. I think this is a very good list to go off of. Again, this doesn't go through specific things. This is just overall as the game. And if you want to know, if you're here at the end and you weren't here for the whole thing, go skip to the parts in the timeline in the video where I talk about the specific game you want to see. I think they're fine. I think this is good. Again, you want to move some things around inside the same tiers, or something that's like towards the top of a tier to the bottom of another one, I don't really have a problem with it. But like, if you want to say that Platinum's an okay game that's fun but definitely flawed, no, it's not. It's not. It's just not. It's just not. Same with Heart Gold Soul. These are like kind of interchangeable. They're right near each other. They're both very good games. I think the story is probably better in here. I think the post game's similar. I think the journey experiences it's subjective. Do you like Johto or you like Sinnoh more? I kind of love the legendary Pokemon here. So, but you know, as you can see, there's a reason why Platinum's below this. You know, if you think Coliseum's the best of the best, maybe XD Gale of Darkness, but I think XD Gale of Darkness has some small issues. So yeah, I'm gonna just keep going on and on and on. But yeah, that's what I think. This is my definitive tier list for Pokemon games, including Pokemon Go and Temtem for mainlines. And then next time I'll be taking, I guess, everything from here. I don't know if I think I'll be taking everything from like Emeralds. I don't think I'll be taking these two. It's kind of hard. If I could make another tier, I would make a tier between these two, and then put Sun and Moon, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Black and White, and X and Y, and Coliseum all in the same tier. And then I would just have Battle Revolution up to Fire Red, Leaf Green on this one. Because I think I'm only going to take these 8 games and compare them to other RPGs as a whole. You know, Breath of the Wild, Monster Hunter, some other things that are out. And I'll just compare them on, like, as them to RPGs. Because, I mean, spoiler alerts, if you're going to make if I'm making a list of Pokemon games to other RPGs, you're going to see just how far behind Pokemon games are. But I think this is a good list, you know. But let me know down below in the comments section what you think. Let me know your tier list. I will leave the link for this one so you can go and create your own and post about it, and let me know. I really think that this is pretty good, even though it's going to piss off people. I don't really care. I think this is borderlining objective for some of these, but this is pretty subjective for some of them. But I think this borderline's objective. I think that's why these are made the way that they were. These tiers. So yeah, I hope you all have a nice day. Don't chew my head off or anyone else's, especially over this. It's fucking Pokemon, guys. I'll talk to you later. Peace out.